Hello and welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to everything entertainment.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. So, sis, I think you're up first this week. So, what do you got?
All right. So, I have the new TikTok trend, which is the Some Cut Dance Challenge.
Some Cut Dance Challenge.
Yes. So, what the Some Cut Dance Challenge is, if you look, everybody's doing this. You got parents doing it, grandparents, kids, celebrities, everybody. Everybody, their mom and their grandma.
Okay.
So
which is different than the Cuff It Challenge.
Yes.
That's the Beyonce song.
Yeah, that's the Beyonce one. That one's easy.
Yeah, that's
This one
easy.
is like 75 steps.
Yep, exactly.
So how this all came about is there is a singer-songwriter, Victoria Monet, and she was in Sacramento. She's from California. She's in Sacramento, and she is performing at the Soul Blum Festival. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. But it's just a music festival. And she had like a little song, like a break in her song where she did like a little dance break so she could show off her dancing skills.
Oh, okay.
And that's when she did the routine. And the song is Some Cut by Trillville. So a lot of people might know Trillville because Lil Jon used to always yell out, "Be a me, click." So that is...
I don't know that.
Okay, but it's all Lil Jon's people.
Okay. His peeps.
Yeah, all his little clique. So, so the routine was so good that, like, when people saw it at the festival, like, I guess different choreographers were trying to learn it. So with them trying to learn it, then it became something on TikTok because, TikTok started off as a dance challenge, a dance thing.
No, it started off as a music thing.
Oh, music thing, I'm sorry.
To the TikTok, you don't stop.
Okay, color me bad. Now,
but it did start off. It was called Musically, I think. First, and then it moved on to TikTok. But yep,
still,
with all music and dance for sure.
Yeah, all music and dance. So from there, what ended up happening was everybody's on there trying to learn all the steps of this, and we sat here with mom in front of mom and tried to figure it out. And mom was looking at us like, "What is wrong with y'all?"
Yeah, we needed to have recorded that.
Yes,
and that was very sad.
It was sad.
But we're gonna get it.
We're gonna get it. We maybe not.
What it is, yo? What's up? Okay, that's the song. Yeah, that's the song. Yeah. Know.
But yeah. So because she did it and her choreographer and everything, it went from. It's on like all social media platforms. YouTube has a tutorial on it. It's everywhere.
To teach you the 45 steps, 75 steps to learn how to do
But
this.
then what's crazy is that when it comes in on I guess it comes in on an upbeat instead of coming in on a downbeat. Like, because like the squeaking of the bed.
Oh, yeah.
When you go to actually go to punch to do your dance, it's the 11th squeak.
Oh, the 11th squeak starts. Oh,
yeah. So which kind of throws it off because you see people in the video like, all right, so Alyssa Milano.
Oh, she did
recently. No, she tried. Oh. She's sitting there, and then you see her. She's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then right when she's about to do it, she's like, she misses it.
Oh, she misses the beat.
And then she's like,
because everything is normally on an 8 count, a 16 count, or something like that, and 11, it's like weird.
Yeah, but it's funny to see the celebrities try to do it and they can't.
Yeah.
It's always what messes everyone up is that first initial punch to the ground.
I think it's a lot of things.
Like the initial thing where like
the punch part isn't even hard for me. It's after the punch, you do a thing, you do your hands, whatever, and then like you got to go around and lift your hip, and like it's certain parts of it that it's like it doesn't intuitively make sense to flow, and everything's not a 4 count or an 8 count. Some things it's like 1, 2, 3, but then you don't do the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, it's true.
It's something totally different you're doing. So that's the part that I feel is just the biggest challenge.
That's choreography at its greatest.
I guess.
That's why I say it's
most challenging.
It's like abstract art, okay?
Okay.
The misbeat choreography. I love it.
There you go.
So, if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. It's the Some Cut Dance Challenge that is on all social media, and that is SOMECUT. All right, let's check it out.
Alrighty, sounds good.
So what do you have?
I actually have The Rest in Perfection of Leslie Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have this along with something else, but I couldn't let the day go without at least acknowledging the passing of Leslie Jordan. He actually is somebody that I used to always watch on Will and Grace back in the day. Yes, Beverly Leslie.
Yeah.
And so when he'd be like, well, Karen Walker, you know? And so, but yeah, I loved what he said. I thought that the place smelled like, you know, vodka and regret or something crazy, you know, like that's just him. And he's so amazing. I loved him on there. He actually won an Emmy Award for that. And I watched him throughout the entire
I think the entire world did.
I mean, 2020, it was Leslie Jordan's time, and
Yeah,
I was here for it, and I was like every day, I'm not even joking, I was intentionally, I don't even go to Instagram like that, and I was literally going to Instagram to try to find him so that I could see what his thing was, whether it was, well, and then he would curse, you know.
What y'all doing?
Yeah, what y'all doing? Yeah. Or, Mama, I'm talking to my friends. He would do that. He would be like, hey, fellow hunker downers.
Hunker downers,
so many cool, quirky things that he was saying. I only watched the TV show The Cool Kids because he was going to be on there, and David Allen Greer was on there. And I mean, they had a whole bunch of amazing people in the cast for that. I only watched They Call Me Kat because he was like, hey, I'm recording something new, and it's a new TV show with Maya Ballet. Yeah, I can't ever say her name. I just say Blossom. So anyway, with Blossom,
it's just,
and so, but yeah, so yeah, so, but I watched Call Me Kat because he was going to be in it, and I've been watching it, you know, ever since.
Yeah, because he's funny. He's a tiny, funny guy.
And 4'11". Just endearing, loving, just wanting to do anything to make people happy and smile and enjoy life. And so for me, I just felt like, I mean, at 67, you wouldn't think somebody's life is cut too short sometimes for some, you know, people, I guess, especially if they had been sick or had some health things.
That's true.
And it just didn't seem like that. He was full of life. He was full of love and energy. And they said he was heading to work and had some kind of medical episode that created a car accident that unfortunately took his life. And the day before he left, before he left us, he actually was singing a song that was When the Roll is Called. Oh, yeah. You know, in heaven, he was going to be there.
Old gospel song.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting that he was working on an album. He was working with like a Dolly Parton and
oh wow,
yeah,
see,
like all these different people working with them to create an album that is going to be coming out. He was promoting it actually recently. That's why he did the recording, and he was on his last television interview was with CBS Morning News, and he was telling them that who he had worked with. I think Chris Stapleton might have been on there, just different artists, and that he was just basically, you know, so excited about this kind of second stage of his life and being able to kind of do some amazing things. So, anywho, so I just, again, wanted to say a rest in perfection to Leslie Jordan, and he will absolutely be missed. Like, that hurt me to my heart.
Yeah,
and,
no.
You know, and so, but he said, when he sung the song, you know, about the roll being called and he was going to be there, he said, I've been baptized 13 times just to be sure. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it hit me like, did he? And then also him yelling for his mama. I never seen his mama.
Yeah, was she
alive? I didn't even know if she was alive or not, if he was just yelling. But she was. She just passed away earlier this year.
Oh, man.
Earlier this year.
So
I think
she was actually a person, because I never saw her.
But he would just scream, Mama, I'm talking to my friend. She's asking me about what's going to be for dinner. You know, all this kind of stuff. So he was amazing. So anyway, just wanted to say that. The other thing I just wanted to talk about quickly, because his was not the topic, but I just couldn't, you know,
his
not.
It's a shout out.
Yeah, but the other thing I just wanted to talk about was the show that I'm watching right now on Netflix, and I'll be quick about this, Earthstorm on Netflix. Okay. And so it is basically all about different types of natural disasters. There's only 4 episodes, I believe. So they go through...
So it's like a documentary?
It's a documentary talking to people who are like storm chasers.
Oh, okay.
And about, you know, earthquakes is one of them. Hurricanes is one of them. Volcanoes is one of them. and tornadoes and cyclones and things like that. So they talk about all the different ones.
Aren't one, you know?
Well, the tsunamis come from the earthquakes. So that's what they did talk about, is how the earthquakes, it's not as much, sometimes it's about the rumble of the earthquake, but it has to be a pretty bad earthquake in order for it to be, you know, something that would cause catastrophic damage, like, you know, a 2 something, probably not so much, but a 7 or a 9.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think they said that they have had 4 or 5 9 like 9.0 earthquakes in the past 100 years. And those often, if they're on the fault or whatever, so far Japan, I didn't know this, has the most faults to go through it that can cause the most earthquakes, and they have the most seismic activity even over California.
Oh, wow, okay.
So Japan actually has a number of tsunamis that happen there, and they teach their kids in school drills, like how they used to do nuclear drills and things like that. Like they teach their kids drills consistently on how to survive a tsunami, because it's crazy. Truly all these faults are just going right through and around Japan, but they're all on the outside, like in the ocean.
Okay.
So their earthquakes typically happen, the epicenter's in the ocean, and then all the waves come.
So when you were talking about the earthquakes being like the high ones, is it on land or is it in the ocean?
It depends on what it is. So they had different places.
And what did they say what the highest was that they've ever had?
They just said 9.0. They didn't say exactly what above that, but they were showing different things on different scales. So they start off with, and usually each episode has like 4 different scenarios that happened, right, in 4 different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And so it's like, or 4 places in the country, where United States, for example, has the most tornadoes.
Yeah.
And like Tornado Alley and all of that. And so they're saying...
Do other countries even have tornadoes?
They do, but they said that the United States has like 1,200 every season, I guess, of the spring of when tornadoes go through. And it's 4 times as many as anywhere else in the entire world. Like everywhere else in the world combined doesn't have... It's like, crazy. As many as the United States. And that's because of the plains and the dry land and the heat from the water in the Gulf of Mexico, with the cool air coming down from like the north, creates this seismic activity that makes the tornadoes.
So some countries have earthquakes and tsunamis. Some countries have a bunch of tornadoes.
Well, we have earthquakes too, but not the tsunami part, but the earthquake part for sure. And then they also talked about volcanoes.
Yeah,
I saw that. You saw that part, and everything that goes along with that is pretty shocking, you know, in regards to...
What's that tornado, that volcano that they were talking about that was in Italy? Did they give you a name of it?
They have the names. I don't remember. I didn't write them down, but they have names of different types of volcanoes that, like, some of them haven't erupted in 400 years or 150 years or since the 1800s or something like that. So that, like, could happen at any time. Sometimes the smoke coming out, and they'll send different people down into the inside of the volcano, so that way they can test the gases, because they said when the gases start to emit at a higher level, that's when it's a possibility of an eruption. But you have to be a person willing to go down into it to collect those gases, where I'm collecting the gases and they're through the roof. This thing might blow like right now while I'm hanging down here,
I don't think
you're
anybody
gonna
really
die
wants to
immediately.
burn to death,
So but they just showed all of these different scenarios of, like, volcanoes spewing, like, immediately busting open, and then just how quickly it can take over a side of a mountain, or go the ash from it alone, like, overcoming people. There was one video, and it's part of the trailer, where these people are there and they're speaking a different language, and they're seeing this smoke plumes coming at them, and then they're just like, oh my gosh, we got to hurry up and get in the car, and they run and get in the car, but somebody else is running along the side of the street, and they left him, and he got succumbed by the ash and stuff, and you're like, he probably died. Like,
absolutely not.
It's
not
too
hot ash.
It's hot ash. I'm assuming at that point you can't breathe, and the guy was running as fast as he could, and they were like, oh my God, we left that guy, but, like, it wasn't their person. And then they did end up picking up some other people, like, on the side of the road. And you even see this guy, he's running down the street trying to kind of get away from these pillars of smoke. And, it's hot, it's ash, it's like going to suffocate him. And they just keep driving and they're like, oh my God, what about that guy on the road? And so they do end up later picking up other people that they see that are on the road. But they knew that
they couldn't stop.
But they couldn't stop because they would have gotten caught up in it too when they saw that he got caught up in it. They were rushing to try to get away from it. So anyway, I would say definitely check out Earthstorm. It's on Netflix. If you're interested in things like global warming, what's happening in the climates that we're living in right now and things of that nature, then I think this would be a good documentary series or docu-series for you to check out. So that's what I have. All right, sis, what do you have next?
All right, so my next one is on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And it is called Peripheral.
Okay. Got it.
Now, it's released every Friday. So usually, I don't think Amazon usually does that where they release it.
I feel like do a drop. But I could be wrong.
But I could be wrong too. But so unless they haven't done it in a while. But so this is a new series that they have. They're on their third week, so I'm on the third episode of the show. It drops every Friday. So just give you a little rundown of this. Okay, so you have Chloe Grace Moretz, you have Gary Carr, you have Jack Rayner. You have Louis Hertham, and you have Eli Garay. Now, these are the main characters of the show. Chloe Moretz. Chloe Grace Moretz. She actually is the main character of the entire show. And she's a great actress. She's really good. Okay. She everybody's seen her on like everything. I mean,
I didn't know her name, but when I saw her face, I was like, "Oh yeah, I recognize her."
Like, I think she probably started off as like a child actor, and now she's just
she looks like
everything.
it. At least a teen actor. Yeah.
All right. So the show is about a girl who lives in a small country town. Now she takes care of her dying mother. Her mother's blind. Her mother's going through some sickness, and so with her mother being sick, there's like no insurance or anything. Like she the main character works at like a post office or something. I can't remember exactly what it was because they only show her working there once.
But it's not like she's making a ton of money.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then so she also lives with her brother, and her brother is a veteran. So he's I think he's a disabled veteran. I see some things going on with his back. But so with that, they have to put their money together in order to buy one pill for their mother. Crazy. And the pill is like $10,000.
It's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, no. So hopefully the world never gets to that.
But, well, there are some medications that are well over like thousands of dollars, and it's because they want insurance to pay the difference so that it can make it reasonable for people. It's all a racket.
I know.
Yeah.
Right, anyway. All right. So with her brother being a disabled veteran and everything, he does like this kind of Twitch type thing where he's playing video games, and it's like kind of like Sims. So with this, he's getting paid good money. Okay. He has rich people who are just like, we have this Call of Duty type game. I'm going to pay you $25,000 to get me from this level to this level. Oh, and I'm going to be running with you with the little gun and everything, but you're doing all the work.
You're my ringer.
Yeah, you're just going to be protecting me. I might shoot a couple of people, but you better not make sure I get shot. I don't die. Yeah, I don't die or anything. So what happens is, with him being in the game and so much into it, his sister actually comes in. She's coming to talk to him. And what happens? He's just like, hey, I gotta go pee. Can you go ahead and like take over this game for me? She goes in. Within 2-3 minutes, she like wins the whole game. Oh, wow. And he's just like, wait, what just happened? And then he's talking to one of his friends, and they're just like, yeah, Flynn is what happened. Your sister, she just came in and blew up everything. So now, we won. Wow. So with that happening, they have a sponsor. So the sponsor sends her and her brother this new headset, and it's like it's how the game allows you to basically feel everything that's going on with the game. So I mean, like feeling it. I mean, like you touch like she's on a motorcycle. She can feel it. She can feel the wind blowing on her. She can like everything that she is going through in the game. Yeah. She can feel, but that also includes pain. Yes. So then it also gets weird because of the fact that she has her sim in this is her brother. So now it's like you as a because it's supposed to be the brother doing the game. Doing it. Yeah. But now because it's her doing it, it's like a male sim But one of the things is like you have to go in and you have to seduce this woman and take her home and all this other stuff. So that's a little weird.
So she's supposed to feel what her brother would feel as a sim.
I guess.
Wow, it's different.
Okay. But I mean, she. I mean, I wouldn't say what her brother would feel. It's just whatever is happening.
So if she's touching the woman, then she's feeling that.
Feeling
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So, excuse me. With that being said, that's when stuff starts to get crazy. That's when you have this sound and this person in your ear that's telling you, all right, now it's this woman, you have to seduce her, let her take you home, and then you have to drug her. But when you're going to drug her, like you got, what is the stuff that they put on your face? Chloroform. So it's like, all right, you have to make her smell this, but then also you know that she has a car that has a driver. So with her having a driver, you know that the driver is gonna, if he sees her getting sick, he's gonna want to kill you. Mm-hmm. So I mean, just like a video game, you have to walk up to the woman and then like you talk to her, or whatever, and then
get her interest.
Yeah. So what ends up happening? Big fight. Now this robot thing is just grabbing him, shoving him into the front seat. And driving normal, but then this one arm is just like,
and then feeling it.
Yeah, and feeling it. And then like you see it another time, and he's like the robot's driving, and you see his leg, and his knee is like up by his ear because he's kicking him so hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like you get into all of that. So she's feeling all this and everything, but what happens is it gets so threatening for her and her family. The harder the game gets. So now. She thinks that she may be being used by someone with a lot of money in order to like infiltrate. Like she's thinking that this could be something where I'm actually playing this video game, but it could be something where they're trying to break into something.
Oh, okay. Like they may be using me to do things in a illegal way.
Yeah, in a legal way. But you're thinking it's for the video game, but actually
it's something real happening.
Yeah, you're doing like what is it? The black. What is it called? The black market. Not the black market, but the black web or whatever.
Oh, the dark web.
The dark web. Yeah. So it might be like you're doing some dark web type Neo stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Bitcoins and all that.
Yeah, all that stuff. So you might be stealing all that, But it just makes her life so much harder. It becomes like really hard for her when she's now starting to fall for this one guy, and then she's asking her brother, she's like, so like how is it when you like fall in love? And he's just like, so you can't feel anything, and you know that this game in your brain is probably making you feel more because of the fact that it is still a game. Mm-hmm. So you might think that you love this person or you like this person, but you don't. Mm-hmm. He never touched you. He never kissed you. He never did any of that.
Yeah, none of it's real.
None of it's real. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. So far, I like it. It's getting crazy. There's this one scene where this lady gets, like, killed by bees. It's insane, but it's still good. But like I said, the next episode will be coming on the 4th, and this is on Amazon Prime, so check it out. It is called Peripheral.
Peripheral.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Well, I'm going to talk about something kind of fun.
Okay,
a comedy called Sprung. On
Sprung. Okay.
Yep, but it's on Amazon Freevee.
Oh yeah, Freevee.
So it is 9
IMDb.
episodes. Yep, IMDb previously, and it is like a 30-minute kind of, or maybe a little longer show. Sometimes some of them are a little longer, some of them aren't. But basically, it's a funny show. So you have the cast of Garrett Dillahunt, who plays Jack, and he used to be on The Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead. So I really liked him. John Doherty. Yeah, okay. If anybody knows that. Yeah. It's Shakira Barrera, who plays Gloria. Philip Garcia, who plays Rooster. That's a name. You have his mom, who is played by Martha Pimpton, which I didn't know her name, but when you see her as an actress, you know her on everything, and she plays the mom Barb. And then
she's always playing a mom. Everything that she plays,
so she's even if she's younger than the person, it's like she's playing a mom. It's so weird. And then you have Claire Giles, who plays Wiggles, and James Earl, who plays Melvin. Those are kind of your main characters. But basically, it starts with Jack being in prison with Rooster. That's his cellmate. And so basically, because COVID hits, they're letting all these prisoners go early with early release because they're like, you're nonviolent criminals. Exactly. You were here for weed. You were here for whatever, your sentence has been exonerated or whatever done.
Yeah,
you've served your time and you're free to go. Well, before they leave, they show Zach talking to this woman through the toilet because the men and women are in the same prison. And so he's talking to this woman, oh, babe, whatever. She's like, oh, I can't wait to meet you, whatever. So then all of them are released. Gloria's on the phone in the first episode talking to somebody like, oh, yeah, I met this great guy, whatever. And he's like 5 people behind her looking like, oh, my God, that's the girl that I was talking to. And I was not any of the things that I was telling her that I was, because I never thought that I would meet her, but I just wanted, to talk to a woman for some companionship. So basically what happens is Rooster's waiting for his mom to come pick him up. And as he's waiting, Jack is sitting there talking to him. And then Rooster's like, well, you can come too. Like, you can come. My mom is just going to want you to, contribute probably to the rent or whatever. But like, yeah, come on, you can come. So the mom comes, picks them up. They go down the road. All of a sudden, who do they see walking down the road trying to figure out where she's going to go? Because they literally like just, hey, you're free.
Yeah, you're free. They walk outside. There's a payphone right there. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're not our problem anymore.
And the thing is, it's a pandemic, so they have no mask. Yeah. Nobody wants to be around them. Like they don't even know how to function in the middle of the pandemic because everybody else has already at least gotten used to it. So they pick up Gloria. Gloria figures out that Jack was lying the entire time, which was kind of funny. But anyway, and then they just... Once they get out, the thing is the mom is kind of a criminal, and she's trying to figure out things.
No, the mom is not kind of a criminal. The funniest thing is when she starts, like, she's talking to him with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, and then the car slows down, and she just opens the car door,
jumps out,
and jogs around, and she's going to these people's houses, stealing their packages
off of
and
the
son's just like, yeah, my mom, and he's driving the car for her. And then she just takes the packages, tosses them in the car, and then
runs right back
and gets back in the car. And goes.
And drives.
What the heck? It's hilarious.
Yeah, she is a criminal, right? And then, so of course, Jack's character is like, "Look, I'm not trying to go back. Like, that's not my deal." And she's like, "Well, you can leave if you want to." And Gloria's not as challenged by doing some illegal activities. And so, but then Jack does try to do some of his things for good. So for example, they were watching TV news show, and this mother was in the hospital working as a nurse during the pandemic and couldn't talk to her kids. So all of a sudden, miraculously, what happens? An iPad shows up at the kid's house, and I mean with the mom, her grandmother, the grandmother of the kids, and an iPad shows up for the nurse, and now they can talk to each other and see each other. And they were saying, "Oh, that's just so great." And so Jack is trying to maybe be a Robin Hood, rob somebody and then do something nice. And how Wiggles and Melvin get into it is that when he gets out of prison, Rooster, his former girlfriend was Wiggles, who was a stripper.
Okay.
So therefore, of course, her name is Wiggles.
And she strips.
And so she's now with the guy named Melvin. Well, Melvin is someone who, with him dating her, he's always like an antagonist to Rooster. So he's like, "Yeah, I'm with your girl. Yeah, I got your girl's name tattooed on my body. Yeah, your girl, does this for me, and she wiggles for me, and all this kind of stuff." So he's just determined. Rooster's determined to get Wiggles back.
Sweet and he's so soft.
Sweet and so clueless.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sweet and so clueless. So anyway, and his mom just babies him so much, and so it's just, to me, it's a cute, hilarious show called Sprung on Freevee, formerly IMDb, on Amazon. And I would say if you just want something funny, lighthearted, just to enjoy, this might be it. I was kind of sad when the episodes were over. I was like, "Oh, I love these people."
How many episodes is it?
It's 9. It says, yep. So I was looking for the 10th, and I was like, "Why did that feel like a finale?" And then I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's it." Yeah. So, but it was good, and it gave room for something else to happen going forward. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that is it. So what do you have next, sis?
All right. So for my last one, I have this tearjerker of a movie.
Oh, okay.
I cried. Quite a few times in this episode. Not like boohoo crying, but I mean I shed a tear. I shed a tear. A tear rolled down my cheek, like the Native American looking at the person throwing the trash.
Yes, I do remember that from the old commercials. Yeah.
So this is called From Scratch.
Okay.
This is on Netflix. It will make you laugh. It will make you cry. It will make you want to hug your partner dearly.
Oh.
It will make you want to think about having children, but then be like, but do
maybe
I
not
really?
so much.
Yeah. But no, it's really good. It's like a, I want to say it's like a upscale Hallmark movie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So with this, I will tell you this: I had a hard time getting into it at first.
Right, you did
because
say
of the fact that Zoe Saldana, who is the lead character, she looked like she was airbrushed. Come to find out, yes, she was airbrushed. She was playing a 22-year-old when she's like 50. No, she's not that old. She's like 50. She's like in her 40s, I believe. I don't know. I don't know how old she is. Shout out to Zoe Saldana. Sorry, not to make you older. So you have Zoe Saldana. You have Eugenio Mastadera. You have Danielle Deadwiller, or Deadweiler. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know.
You have Judah Scott, you have Kalita Smith, and Keith David. Now, this is my second week talking about Keith David.
Right.
Because I just was talking about him on Intergalactic from the last week. All right, so, like with this, it's a miniseries. So you have Zoe Saldana, who plays, God, what was her name? I can't think of it now. Anyway, but she is a young college student, who takes a summer off to go and study abroad after she is done with school, I believe. I think she finishes college and then she wants to go back to be maybe a lawyer or something like that. So in between that time, she goes to Italy. And her name is Amy. And she becomes friends with people. She bumps into this one guy. His name is Lino. Lino. Yeah. Lino, very attractive dude. But the thing is that she's kind of like, oh, he's nice. But then she's like, I want to have fun while I'm out here, and I need somebody with money to make sure I have fun. So, basically, you're just going through the motions with her and their relationship, how it almost did not happen, and then how fast it did happen, and all of this, and the long distance relationship into the quick marriage and everything. But this is when it becomes a tearjerker.
Okay.
When you find out that the husband is sick. So now you're seeing all the stuff that he's going through with him being sick.
Who's the husband?
The husband is Lino.
Wait, she married Lino?
Yeah, that's what I said. It jumps fast. That's what you said.
That's what I was going to say, but you didn't even tell me she married Lino.
Yeah, I said through the marriage.
Sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah. So how it is at first is
she was trying to have fun with people who had money.
Yeah. But then it long distance relationship to him now living in the United States with her and her sister. And then So what happens is you have Keith David. You have Keith David, who is married to her stepmother, who was played by Judah Scott. A lot of people will know her. I don't know exactly how I can say who she is.
We'll just look her up.
She was the one of the mother on Guess Who, if you remember that movie. Anyway, she's been a mother in a lot of movies.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
So then, her actual mother is Kalita Smith. Okay. And none of them get along. And then on top of that, none of them really like Lino, because Lino has now moved to the United States. He's working at a restaurant that's like a little small place that like basically has there's no people that come in there. Oh, okay. But because he's in the United States and he wants to be with her, he has to work where he can get paid at the table.
Exactly.
Now, so he is a chef.
Okay.
He was in Italy. He was a great chef. He worked in a restaurant and everything, but he loved her so much he wanted to go. He was like, I can cook anywhere. He wanted to move there with her. Now, here's the crazy thing. With none of them liking Lino, especially not Keith David's character, Herschel, that ends up being an issue with their marriage. But then it also gets to where once he becomes sick, all of the family gets together. Oh, so they all end up doing. They all get together. They all love him. They like. It took that. It took him. Around. Yeah, getting sick for that to happen. But they have a child together. They have so much going on. But so basically, it ends from where Lino goes from having no family because he had a falling out with his father to now having the biggest family he's ever had before in his life.
Okay.
Some of his friends are like his family. Like it's a lot of things into that, and it's a lot of like cute things. It's like, oh, that's sweet. Only on TV would that happen, you know.
This doesn't happen in real life.
But yeah, but it definitely it brings it's heartfelt, it's warm, and it brings emotion into your life.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you are emotionless,
Emotionless person,
then watch this, and if you still don't be like, dang, like this is like then you should probably talk to someone about that.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. But no, it's a really good movie. Tearjerker, but also happy moments, sad moments, a lot of sexual moments. Watch that. But so it's still good. Like I said, it's named From Scratch, and it's on Netflix.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's your last one?
My last one is a show on Hulu, which I think it's actually on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Why'd you say Hulu? Like, I think? Like Hulu?
Well, I'm saying Hulu because I think it's actually
It's
on the
on
Oprah Winfrey Network of OWN. However, because of the fact that... what am I trying to say? Because of the fact that Hulu takes on everything and puts it on their show, too. I think that's where this is. But it's called Hair Tales. Basically, Hair Tales with executive producer Oprah Winfrey and Tracy Ellis Ross, who is the daughter of Diana Ross, if anybody didn't know that. So anyway, she has a hair care line and products and things of that nature.
Patterns.
So I could see, yes, exactly, utilize some of her products. And so I feel like that probably is why she wanted to get into black hair and black hair care. Okay. And so basically the series is talking about black women's hair and how it's so versatile, but at the same time can be extremely controversial. So basically it's things like Oprah telling stories in the first episode about how when she was younger, her grandmother and her mother and everybody was like, don't cut your hair. Whatever you do, don't cut your hair. Your hair is your crown. Your hair is your badge of honor. Don't cut your hair. It talks about different things of like what's good hair and who has good hair. It talks about, the different hairstyles that black kids have had over the years. Like, because Tracy Ellis Ross was like, she said, Oprah was like, I just wanted those 3 braids. And she was like, you mean the 2 in the front and the 1 in the back? And Oprah was like, no, like who in the world would ever want that? No, I wanted the 1 to swoop around the side in the front and then 2 in the back. So she was like, that was the one. And then all of a sudden they showed all these pictures of kids in like childhoods in the 70s, the 60s, whatever. Yeah. And the kids had 1 braid going across the front and then 2 braids in the back. And so they talked about pigtails. They talked about how, you could do, so many different things with it. And so they said, for black women specifically, you can press your hair, you can relax your hair, you can leave it natural. You have church hair. This is the hair that you would wear to church. But you can't just have your hair looking any kind of way when you go up in the church. So therefore you had to have church hair. They said they talked about how, because you couldn't cut your hair, but people wanted bangs. So then you had to use your fingers to take the hair and roll it all the way up. And then use like a bobby pin and then keep it there so that way it looked like you had a bang even though you didn't cut your hair. They talked about how you can do like swinging ponytails, to kind of, because Oprah said her favorite style ever in the history of the world was her having a swinging ponytail. Like that's her favorite hair of all hair. All right. So she talked about.
I don't even remember Oprah ever having a swinging ponytail.
Yeah, she does it more now than she did on her actual show. It was a little shorter back then. But she talked about a story of how she actually at 22 she was on the news in Baltimore, like as an anchor on the like evening news or whatever. And the head person came up to her and asked her if she could go see someone in New York City to do something with her hair. And because it's just too big, your fro, your hair, it's just too big. It's impacting the prompter. Like, we just need you to do something with your hair. And oh, by the way, you may even want to think about plastic surgery because your eyes are a little too far apart and your nose is a little wide. So she was just like, I mean, she was like almost in tears. Like, she was telling this story. And she said, I can remember it like it was yesterday. She said, I didn't think of it as being racist, though. Like, even then, I wasn't thinking of it as being racist. What she was thinking of it was, I'm not pretty. That's why they want me to do all of this stuff, because I'm not pretty. But now looking back on it with these lenses, they were kind of being racist and saying, you're not looking white enough, so can you just whiten it up a little bit so that way, you know, you will look like other anchors that we have on this show. So she said she went to New York. She went to this place that was a French place. Oui, madame, we work on every kind of hair, black hair, blonde hair, red hair. Not African-American hair specifically. Yeah, exactly. She said they put a relaxer in her hair. She sat there and she said her scalp was just burning. Oh, no. And she said she was telling them, like, no, I think that you need to take this out. No, you have 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes. When they watched 8 more minutes, she said clumps of hair came out.
Not the anime. That's what happened to Anime Bullet. Oh,
I know, right? It's always something. So anyway, but she said that it was matted on her head. She said it looked like a helmet. And she said there were certain pieces that were stringy, and she said she was just feeling devastated, but she couldn't cut her hair all off because grandma and mama told me don't cut my hair. So then she said that she gets back to work, and she said it was some like executive assistant or whatever, and was like, baby, your hair gone. You need to just shave that off. And she said it was just so traumatic that she did not let anybody else do her hair for years. She said then all of a sudden the 70s was around, and every woman, black woman, was like Black Panther woman with an afro. Everybody's wearing a fro. So then all of a sudden it became okay for her to be able to wear her afro on the show. And she said it was funny because her, her co-host also had like a curly afro. And so she was like, oh, so, you know, he had his afro and I had my afro. So it all ended up working out. But anyway, so she just talked about the trauma of that and how it took her meeting Andre Walker for her to say, I, you know, can let somebody touch my hair again. Because he was like, you have such thick hair. It's so beautiful. Like, you know, you should let somebody do it. And she was just so scared. She was going to a barber to just cut her hair, but she never let anybody else put their hands in her hair. And that's why she said when she finally started trusting Andre, she was with him for years and years and years, like probably 20 years, if not longer, as him being her only stylist. And she said all those styles, everything that you saw.
But see, that's how it is. When you get a stylist, you got to stick with who you trust. And let me try somebody else. No, we ain't trying.
You can't put everybody in your head.
It's never happened. Yeah.
And then she talked about how she did a weave one time, and that she got in the water with a weave on in the ocean. She said that stuck to her head like a helmet. I was like, oh my gosh, Oprah. She said that now wigs are her thing. So she said she got wig walls and calls them certain names, and she got the Beyonce wig and the Tina wig and the, you know, Michelle Obama wig and, you know, all this kind of stuff. So she was just saying how, you know, just with her experience, how hair has meant so much to her and can make you feel amazing, like, oh, I got all the confidence in the world, or can make you feel, you know, like mortified because you just ended up relaxing your hair and ended up with a helmet on your head that was patchy, and you had to just shave it all the way down to the core. And so it was really interesting to have Issa Rae on there. She's talking about her hair journey and how her mother basically had her wearing natural hair since she was very little. Would get at her because, you know, Black people know about being tender-headed. So, you know, it's like all of that kind of stuff. So it's really interesting. But, you know, I wasn't recognizing like how they said it. They were like, you know, Black women can wear their hair. It's the most versatile hair in the world when you think about it, because it can be pressed, relaxed, rolled up, coily, natural, curly, straight combed, locked, twisted, braided, cornrowed. Like, it's so many different things that can happen with Black women's hair.
Black women's hair is the only hair that defies gravity.
It does defy gravity.
Thank you.
Like
Jennifer Lewis.
Yes, that too. But I was like Wicked, defying gravity. Okay. Anyway, so but yeah, so but I thought it was it's a docuseries. So it's Tracy Ellis Ross going around talking to different people. And if anybody ever just wants to, kind of pick up on the different things that, Black women can do with their hair, for people who are curious about Black women's hair, and how you really shouldn't walk up and touch a Black woman's hair, any of those kind of things. So it's just this might be the documentary to watch. So anywho, that's what I had for my last. Isn't that my last topic? Yeah. Is what is it called? Hair Tales, again on Hulu or OWN. Yeah. Depending on how you're trying to find it.
All of the above.
Exactly. So, but that's it for another wonderful edition of Sestra-Tainment. I hope everybody has a wonderful week, and we'll catch up with you all soon.
All right.
Bye.